Hello friends, welcome back to the yoga clinic. My name is Becca. Today I have for you a short, gentle yoga practice that's perfect for beginners, for those of us with limited flexibility, or for those of us nurturing injuries. This class will not utilize any weight bearing on the wrists, so it's good if you have sore wrists, carpal tunnel, anything like that. We're not going to need any props for class today. Just go ahead and find your mat in a place that resonates with you. And then we will start off class on our backs with the knees in the air, soles of the feet as wide as the mat, knees knocking together. This is called constructive rest. We will take a hand onto the heart and one onto the belly, and we'll begin our practice in a place of self-compassion. Breathing into your hands as if they were the hands of a loved one. Embracing you with all of your flaws, embracing you just as you are today. And seeing if you can tap into the trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Oftentimes we feel that we need to be doing more, that we're behind in some way. And this leads to depression and anxiety. And just for these next few moments of class, can you let those expectations for yourself go and allow yourself to really just be here as you are. Deeper inhale, deeper exhale. Lengthen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Last time like that, deep, long inhale. Fill the lungs to the top of their capacity. A little pause at the top, and then exhale fully, ridding yourself of all of the stale air in your lungs. Good, and then inhale naturally and just let yourself breathe as you would. Relaxing the muscles of your face, your shoulders, your neck. Gently blink the eyes open here, taking the hands down by the sides and walking the feet in so they're about hip width distance. We'll begin with some lower back relief. So we're going to make some just gentle movement with the lumbar and sacral spine. That's your low back. So we'll begin by pressing the tailbone down into the mat and feeling the pelvis tilting upwards. This is called an anterior tilt. And then as you exhale, we will tilt the tailbone up to the sky, pressing the low back down and feeling your front hip bones, those two bony prominences, almost drawing together. Good. Inhale. Let's reverse that. Press the tailbone down like you could spill the contents of your pelvis forward. And then exhale, roll, taking maybe the top rim of your pelvis down and the tailbone pointing up to the sky. Good. And now let's just do that a few times. You can move with your breath. So just mobilizing the lower back very gently here. So this is a forward and back movement. Now we're going to work on a side to side movement. So take your right ASIS, it's called. It's your right hip point, this bony point. I want you to imagine that you can draw that point down by rolling that right side of your pelvis down. And then take your left hand onto your left ASIS. And we'll gently roll sideways over to the left, taking the left edge of the pelvis down. Good. And then right and left. So there's this sashaying movement with the hips. You can use your fingers to help guide the pelvis side to side. As slow or fast as you want to go. And then we'll find stillness and we're going to take the diagonal. So imagine if your pubic bone was 6 o'clock and the space just below your belly button was 12 o'clock. I want you to find like 8 o'clock and then around like 1 or 2 o'clock. Good. So finding that diagonal, right bottom to left top edge of the pelvis. And this can be difficult. This can be a difficult movement to find if you've never thought about your pelvis moving in this way, and that's okay. So with practice, we can find more mobility, more range of motion by harnessing these little muscles in the low body. Good. Finding stillness, we're going to take that last diagonal. So about your, about like 4 or 5 o'clock, and then around 10 or 11 o'clock. So left bottom to right top. Keep breathing. And then finding stillness, and we're going to make a big clockwise circle with the pelvis. And then let's switch the direction. Good, yogis. Let's find stillness here. We're going to find that anterior tilt of the pelvis, pressing the tailbone down into the mat, anterior tilt. And then we'll inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to find the posterior tilt again, so tilting tailbone up. This time we're going to continue the rounding of the back, lifting the pelvis off of the mat, curling the low back off of the mat, and then the middle back off of the mat, so that you're resting just on your shoulders, finding bridge pose. You can drive the backs of the arms into the mat. Think about spinning your inner thighs down, weighting your big toe mound. Good, and then let's reverse that. Shoulders, middle back, low back, pelvis come down, and then tilting the tailbone down into the mat. Inhale. Exhale, tilt the tailbone up, posterior tilt of your pelvis, and rolling the spine off of the mat, bottom to top, resting on the shoulders, keeping the neck nice and loose if you can, and then coming back down. Inhaling. Good. Exhale, we'll release. Let's extend the left leg long along the mat, drawing the right knee into the chest. Inhale, feel the right lung expand, right thigh draws away. And then exhale, draw the right thigh into your chest, extending energy out through the bottom of your left foot as you draw the right knee up towards your head. Again, inhale, right leg draws away. Strong, straight left leg, and then exhale, draw the right thigh into the chest. Use the strength of your biceps to pull. Inhale, right thigh draws away, and then exhale, let's draw the right leg across the body for a twist. So you may bump the hips over to the right side, taking the left hand outside of the right knee, and just gently bringing the right knee down. If the right knee does not reach the mat, it's okay. You can let it hover, or you can put a prop underneath it, maybe a pillow or a block. Right arm is going to peel open to the right side. You can look at your right thumb, or you might look up at the sky. Coming back to center. Bump the hips back to center, and then extend the right leg beside the left. Shavasana position, let's switch sides. So we'll inhale, and then exhale, draw the left knee into the chest, extending the right leg long. Inhale, left thigh draws away. Exhale, left knee draws into the chest, extending out through the right heel. 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale, gently pulling the right knee or the left knee down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And then exhale, twist. You can bump the hips over to the left slightly, drawing the left leg across the body and opening your chest wide. Back to center on the inhale. And exhale, release. You can pedal out the knees a little bit, roll the ankles. We'll inhale, stretch the arms forward, extend forward through your toes, pointing the feet. And then exhale, draw both knees into your chest for wind removing pose. Making your way onto the right side with both knees curled in towards you, fetal position. And we'll take both hands out in front of us, so the bottom palm faces up, top palm faces down on top of it. Right ear comes down to the mat. We're going to mobilize our thoracic spine here. So on the inhale, we'll begin to sweep this top arm overhead, stretching through the left arm as you go, and then slowly opening your chest as you bring the left arm behind you. And then we'll open up into a twist here. So left arm keeps sweeping around to the left side of your body. You might take the gaze to follow the left hand, and then taking the left arm back overhead, coming back to the starting position. Again, let's do 2 more like that. Inhale, curling, opening, making a big arc with the top arm, and then reversing the steps. Last time. Good, let's switch sides. So rolling onto the other side. Right hand is on top, left palm faces up. Inhale, we'll rainbow the right arm up and overhead, allowing the chest to open. And then sweeping the right arm back overhead, reversing the steps so that the right palm ends up on top of left. Again, inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Resting on the left side in a fetal position, let's find our way into a seat. However you are able to get there, pressing down into the hands to sit up, and then coming into a seated position. So from here, we're going to find ourselves in Malasana, or yogi squat. Let me just adjust this microphone. Okay. So there's a few ways to get here. For some of us who are a little bit more tight, the best way is going to be to stand and then come back down into it. If you would like to try coming into it from seated, we'll take the feet wide, take the hands behind you, and then we're going to try to come up into a squat from here. So it requires some hip flexibility in order to get into it this way. We'll walk the hands in towards us, and then we can take one hand forward and then the other hand forward so that we're squatting. Now the squat is a position well known around the world. In most of the developing world, this is how people spend a lot of their time. In the Western world, not so much. And so you may be one of those people where this position is just really inaccessible for you. And if that's the case, you can sit up on a pillow or up on a block. So it's more like this. And that requires less flexibility in the hips, knees, and ankles. Wherever you are, I want you to do your best to try to relax into the posture. Breathe. Good. Last breath, we'll inhale. Exhale, let your fingertips flutter down towards the floor. Lift the hips, turn the toes inwards so that the inside of the feet are parallel. And then we'll fold over the legs here. You can keep a deep bend in the knees, as much of a bend as you feel called to do. Some of us, that might look like torso resting on the thighs, and you can even grab opposite arms or hands behind your legs. Wherever you are, let your head hang. No tension left in your head. Shake your head from side to side, nod it yes. Just making sure you're not holding on to any tension. Letting the blood rush to your face. This is considered an inversion. Anytime the heart is below the hips, that's an inversion. Or actually, it's the head below the heart. So a really good way to nourish our circulatory system. Good. Release the hands if you have them. Let them fall down to the mat. Arms are very heavy. Keep the knees bent. We're going to roll very slowly up to stand, and it's helpful to take a slow inhale breath as you go. If you run out of air, no problem. You can exhale, and then again, slow inhale. And then finding our standing position at the top of the mat. Tadasana, just standing. It's very simple. Feet underneath the hips. Palms face outwards. Let your collarbones be broad. And draw the chin back slightly so that the crown of the head is over the spine. Very good. Let's inhale. Sweep the arms up overhead. Urdhva Hastasana. Thumbs touch, looking at your hands. And then exhale, draw the thumbs down to your heart. 2 more like that. Inhale. Sweeping the arms up and pressing down into both feet evenly. Stretching through side body, and then exhale, drawing the hands down to the heart, elbows wide. Last time, inhale. Strong legs, reaching up, spreading your ribs apart. And exhale, drawing the thumbs down to your heart, bow your chin. Good. Inhale, arms sweep up once again. This time as you exhale, we're going to fold forward at the top of the mat. So again, knees can be bent. Inhale, take the fingertips down to the mat. Look forward, flat back, back of the neck long. And then exhale, step your left foot to the back of the mat and drop your back knee down for a low lunge. Untuck that back toe if that's comfortable for you. Otherwise, you can keep it tucked with the foot flexed. Inhale, pull your heart through. Spread your collarbones, lunge into your front knee. And then exhale, shift your hips back, straightening out the front leg. Front toes can lift or they can stay down. Again, inhale, come forward, low lunge. And then exhale, sink the hips back, straighten the front leg. Good. Let's keep moving like this. You can add the arms if you'd like. Any variation is fine. This is just a really good way to open up the hip flexors and the hamstring. So the goal of this class is not necessarily to break a sweat. It's more just to connect to the body, to gently mobilize the spine so that you feel better. And really that's what yoga comes down to. We want to feel good in our bodies so that we can sit for long periods of time in meditation. That's always been the bottom line with an asana or a physical practice, is to prepare for meditation. So remember that, especially if you're in a more fast-paced class where there's a lot of ego in the room and people are doing really crazy postures. Remember, none of that really matters. The shapes don't matter. You want to feel good in the body. You want to have longevity in your joints. Good. Let's end here. We'll take the feet or the hands to the top of the mat. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee. And then we'll step the left foot up to meet the right, coming back into our forward fold. So you can keep this right knee bent a lot, and then you can bend the left knee when you get there. So we're in a very accessible forward fold. Inhale, look forward, and then exhale, step the right foot back, drop the back knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Pull your heart through. You might turn on the back butt cheek, activating the right glute. And then exhale, sweep the hips back. You might lift your front toes, straightening your front knee. Good. Keep going like this with your breath. It might even feel nice to close your eyes. Good. Let's end here in low lunge. We'll take the hands back to the top of the mat, and we're going to step the right foot up to meet the left this time. Coming back into our forward fold. Bend the knees a lot. Let your fingertips be heavy. We'll roll up to stand, taking long inhale breaths as you go, letting the inhale be longer than your exhale. Good, so we're gonna actually walk backwards to the back of the mat, and this is a good challenge for balance. So if balance is very difficult for you, I recommend holding onto a wall so you can move your mat against a wall. If you feel like you can do this, we're gonna come up onto the tippy toes, and then it's just very simple. We'll just step back. Trying to stay on the tippy toes is difficult, and my little cheat is to squeeze your quads and your core. It's gonna help keep everything stable so that you can stay upright, although here I go falling. Good, once you get to the back of the mat, let's just take a breath here on the tippy toes, lifting the heels over the balls of the feet, and then lower the heels down. Good job. All right, almost done with our standing sequence here. Let's take the hands onto the hips again. If you're very unsteady on your feet, take a hand onto the wall or some kind of support, lifting the right knee into the chest, pressing down into the left leg to keep the left quad engaged. Now we're going to step forward into a crescent lunge. So this is really good for challenging your balance. Again, you can hold on. It's very simple. We'll just take a giant step with the right foot forward, coming onto the ball of the back foot. Bend your front knee as much as you are able. Turn on your back glute muscle, and then sweep your arms up to the sky. Breathe. Press your back heel backwards. Feel the back leg engaged. Feel your core drawing in and up, and let your shoulders be relaxed. Good, we're gonna step the left foot up to the top of the mat to meet the right. On the inhale, and then exhale, land. You can keep the arms up. This time we're gonna walk backwards to the back of the mat, coming up on the tiptoes, inhale. And then exhale very slowly, beginning to move back. Small steps are easier than big steps. When you get to the back of the mat, let's just take one breath here, hold. And then exhale, lower the heels. Flutter the hands down by your sides. Left knee draws into the chest, hands can come onto the hips. Inhale. And then exhale, we'll step forward, crescent lunge. Big step with the left foot to the top of the mat. And then sinking down into the lunge. Arms reach up. Pressing back through the back heel. Pulling your low belly in and fixing the gaze on one point in front of you. Good, we're gonna step the right foot up to meet the left this time. Inhale to prepare. And then exhale, we'll land. Let your fingertips flutter down by your sides. We're gonna come down to sit here. So however is easiest for you to come into a sitting position, I'm going to find a forward fold first with knees bent. So leading with my heart, extending the tailbone back, taking the fingertips down. Good, now from here you can bend the knees to sit, or you might walk the feet back slightly so that you can lift up the heels coming to sit. Take the hands out to the sides of you, behind you, maybe to a wall, anything you need so that you can find your way gently into a seated position. Extend the legs forward when you get there, and we're going to take a simple forward fold. So if forward fold is difficult for you, you can sit up on some kind of elevated surface, so even rolling up the corner or the edge of your mat. We'll lift the heels up over, or lift the hips up a little more so that it's easier to find the interior tilt of your pelvis. So a lot of us, there's like a going on. We can't find the interior tilt. So the first thing that you have to be able to do is get tall. So if you can't fold forward today, that's fine. I want you to think about activating your legs, pulling your belly in, and getting tall through the crown of the head. Good, hands can come behind you if needed to support you in this position. And this is gonna be your work today for some of you. If you are a little bit more flexible, we'll begin to take the hands forward. And then again, without compromising the length of your spine or the activation in your legs, we'll begin to tilt the pelvis forward, leading with your heart. Good, so this is really good work. And then if you're very flexible, you might be able to grab the toes. You may be able to fold more deeply forward. Relax your neck. Slow your breathing down. Good, we'll inhale to look up. And then exhale, let's release, walking the hands back into the hips. We're going to walk the feet in and take a butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Same principles apply here. So we want to find the length in the spine first. And then from there, you may be able to tilt your pelvis forward. Tailbone goes backwards. Keeping the belly in, you may be able to fold. If there is pain in the knee, you're welcome to support outside of the legs with some props so that there isn't as much tension on your groin or on the knee. You can also try flexing the feet more. I like to think about pulling the pinky toes back or out to the edges of the mat, which will keep the feet flexed. Tuck the chin, inhale, roll all the way up to a seat. Exhale, release. If you have something that you're sitting on, your mat rolled up, go ahead and unroll it, remove your prop. And we're going to try to sit down from here. So this is going to be the hardest thing that we do all day. Take the feet forward, extend the arms forward. If you can't hold this position, take the hands back and you're going to work with the hands down. We're coming down to lie down onto the backs. So hands down or hands extended forward. Slow motion rolling, one bone at a time, slower than you want to go, to lie down on the mat. Good. Taking a moment to find constructive rest, soles of the feet wide as the mat, knees knocking together. And then drawing the knees into the chest, wind removing pose or Apanasana. You can make some small circles on the lower back. Good. And then we'll find a happy baby here. So grabbing onto the outside edges of both feet. And then as best as you can, pulling the feet down, pulling the knees down. Can you think about extending your tailbone long along the mat? Keeping the head down on the mat, sides of the neck relaxed. Maybe finding some space between your back teeth so that the jaw is in a relaxed position. Relaxing the pelvic floor and your core. Good, and release. I'm going to draw my knees together and then one leg at a time, just extend everything out long. We'll inhale, stretch your arms overhead, point through your toes. And then exhale, release everything. Shavasana. Let your hands come out by your sides, taking up a lot of space. Palms face up, toes flop out to the side. Rolling the head a few times to make sure there's no tension in your neck. Maybe moving your jaw, raising your eyebrows, making sure there's no tension in your face. And we'll take one last breath in together. And open the mouth, let it go. Letting the weight of the body settle down into the floor. Yogis, thank you so much for